are my cats terrorizing you again? I haven't seen them all day.
No, I believe that they were chasing the goblins around last I saw them.
Okay, good. The goblins need their exercise.
Yes, especially the cook. The cook doesn't do, well, much of any exercise and has gained quite a few pounds. If you haven't noticed, they're a bit overweight.
And there's one standing right behind you. We didn't. He said it, not me.
We're talking about the cook. You agree? Oh, thank goodness. Even they agree that the cook needs some exercise. What do you mean that he also needs to learn how to cook? He's literally the cook. We will argue about this later. Anyway, I think it's about time we pull someone else in.
We should probably grab Ephraim as well. Hey, Ephraim, are you here?
What?
Oh, I almost stepped on you. I'm so sorry.
Why would you do that?
Well, why were you sleeping in the middle of the floor?
Why? I don't know, man.
Very out of it. But do you care to wake up? We're about to pull someone in.
Who are we pulling today?
Rue, who are we pulling in today?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I haven't actually found anyone specific yet. I may or may not have been sleeping when I was supposed to be looking for people. Let's do an emergency pool. We'll do it random.
Roll the dice, as they say.
Yes. Okay. 1 moment. Random world. Insert dice sound. Random person. Insert dice sound.
You can insert that sound.
I'm gonna find one eventually. But, here we go. 3, 2, 1. And there's our guest now.
Hi. Where am I?
Hello.
What is this place?
You are in the realm of forgotten memories and dreams. One could say that you are possibly asleep. Possibly.
Oh, that.
Still kind of iffy on how that works. Anyway, we are the Delegation of Dreamers. I am Rue.
I'm Ephraim.
I'm Ashur, and I have cats again.
Oh, hello. I must be sleeping. I'm Terra. Nice to meet all of you.
Nice to meet you too.
The pleasure's ours. Do you want any refreshments? We've got tea, booze, something called... I can't even pronounce that word, but I think it's related to coffee. Just in a different language.
Coffee.
It's pronounced energy drink.
Energy drinks. Could we use one of those?
I typically ask for booze, but my friend, Famous, she's a bit of a mom. She tells me that you can't just go around asking for booze first thing in the morning. So probably tea, I suppose?
Oh, don't worry. It's probably the middle of the night.
I have booze in the back if you would like.
I would, actually. Thank you.
Of course.
I'm not picky. Any booze that you have will do.
I think it's fine to drink whenever. There's always nighttime somewhere.
That's my thought. But, Famous, you can't have ale in the morning. You need tea to get your day started right.
Oh, speaking of refreshments, it looks like one of the goblins has brought us a plate of jerky. Oh, the cook wants us to try it. Be careful of this batch. He's not very good at jerky.
Hey.
Yes, thank you.
Did you know that it's called jerky because the ox was a jerk?
I came back at the wrong time. Here you go. Will bourbon do for you?
Oh, it's perfect. Thank you.
Absolutely.
This jerky is interesting. It's unlike anything I've had before.
Yes. Do you know what it was made from? What is an Oxford comma? No, we're not talking about... No, we're talking about the food. Oh, you mean there's an Oxford comma in what it's made from? Oh, there's a lot of things. Let's just say that most of this meat has probably been forgotten by anything that has ever existed in the world. And there's too many to count in just one sentence.
How do you use an Oxford comma as an ingredient?
No, it's not an ingredient. It's in the list. They were talking and they said, "Oh, don't forget there's an Oxford comma." This is the very literate. Still don't know what an Oxford is, though.
The goblins are getting more and more fancy with their words lately.
Yes, this one has been reading them stories from something called a textbook. But thank you. And yes, I will give you your payment for last week's adventure in just a moment.
All right, let's save these rambles for the short stories.
Yeah. How does someone get named Terror?
It's Terra, I believe.
Oh.
Yes, a Terra. It's kind of a name I picked for myself. I don't have any family that I know of, and I didn't know what my name was, so I just picked Terra for myself.
Is it because you're a rock genosi, or did Terra just have the right ring to it?
A little bit of both. I like the thought of Terra, like terraforming, being a force of nature. And Terra kind of sounded nice.
Very nice. Guys, do you think she would like the Cobalt Scout cookies? They are as hard as rock.
Did you say cookies?
Yes, we have cookies. We have Cobalt Scout cookies, but they tend to be more dippers than anything.
Well, I typically prefer to dip my cookies in my bourbon.
A woman of quality.
Adds a nice flavor to the sweetness of the cookie.
Absolutely. Feel free to have as many as you would like.
Thank you. These are good.
So where are you from, Terra?
Flan? I'm not sure if you actually know. I don't know where I am. It's in the Moonsea area. I don't know if you know where
Oh.
that is.
Near the Sword Coast.
Yes, exactly.
I've heard of that place.
That's where I grew up. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's a place. I wouldn't recommend it, but probably because I grew up on the streets and didn't see the nice side of it.
I guess the place makes a lot of good adventurers.
It does.
We've had a couple of guests coming from the area.
It is definitely a big adventuring area. There's people passing through all of the time.
What about you? Have you been on any adventures?
I have, actually. I signed up with the Zatarum army, and I have been adventuring with them for the past couple of years. That's actually where I was when I woke up here.
Why did you sign up with the army? I'm sure there are guilds and everything that you could have joined. Was there something specific?
Well, I have had this friend who, honestly, she's a sweetheart. A nice elven girl named Sorisana. She decided that we needed to do good in the world. I was happy just staying there and doing my fights, but she said that we needed more and we needed to use our talents to help other people, especially those who can't help themselves. So she convinced me to sign up for the army.
Noble. Very noble.
I mean, honestly, I just kind of did it for the steady paycheck and food in my belly.
Free tuition. Wait, that's not the right one.
But I mean, since I signed up, I have kind of got a sense of pride when helping those less fortunate. So I guess it's not all selfish.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, whenever you're doing a good deed, you should feel some pride in yourself for it.
Do they have good food in the army?
You know, when I first started out and I was more of a grunt, the food wasn't great. It's mainly designed to keep you nourished enough that you can stay out and do your job for as long as you can. But as I started, doing better and kind of getting promoted up the ranks, the food has gotten steadily better. My favorite thing, though, is when you go on leave and you can find a new city to check out, and then you can try all of like the local delicacies and stuff in the different cities that you can hang out in. That's my favorite part.
What's some of the favorite delicacies you've come across?
Oh, well, I was in Daggerford for a bit, and they had this fish stew that was just to die for. It was a little creamy, and it was it was so good. I don't know what special magical herbs they used for it, but it was probably the best stew I've ever had.
How was it like growing up in Flan?
It was hard. My earliest memory was being on the streets in Flan when I was about 9. I didn't really have a lot to my name. The little that I did have, it was mine. I was happy to have it. I was proud that I had the little bit that I did. But I came across some older people that tried to take what I had. And I didn't have any training. I had never really been in a fight before. And, I got beat up and they took all of my stuff. So that aspect of it was, you never know. You never know what kind of person you're going to come across on the streets. But it taught me that I needed to toughen up. I learned how to fight. When I met Sori, she was laughing at me. I was trying to break into one of the local markets after it had closed because I was hungry. And at the time, I was not very good at breaking into places. I was much better at breaking things than breaking in. And she was laughing at me because it was taking me so long to get through the lock. And I don't know why, but she just kind of decided that I was her friend and she would not leave me alone. no matter how hard I tried to shake her. And she taught me how to pick locks and all of the easy ways into different places from the street. And I taught her how to defend herself. And we, became friends. And once her and I became friends, things got a lot better because I had somebody to kind of run around with. I wasn't alone all of the time. And she really showed me a different side of the city. I had only really ever paid attention to the negative stuff, but she kind of showed me the prettier side. She would take me to different places in the city and we would watch the sunrise or the sunset. And, she really showed me that there was beauty to be had in the world. And, once we got older and we were able to get jobs in the city, things got a lot easier. But there for a while, living on the streets is never easy or fun, but after a while, I learned that you can still have fun even when things are kind of shitty.
Mm-hmm. You always have to be able to find the good.
And she really taught me that. I was not very good at that when I was younger. I'm not good at that now, but I try.
Yeah, as long as you try, I'm sure you'll find.
Yeah, you can always find something if you look hard enough. You can always find something good.
But she didn't join the army with you.
She did. We signed up together and we had hoped that we would be able to kind of stay together. But she had a very particular set of skills that were useful in other areas. While I was really good at breaking things and fighting, she was very good at sneaking in places without being seen. She was very good at breaking into places. And she was also very charismatic and they could use that. So she was very quickly taken and put in a different unit. We kept up for a while, sending letters back and forth, but I hadn't heard from her in a while. And then I got a letter. Somebody delivered a letter. Her unit disappeared. We don't know if they died. We don't know if they were captured. But she'd written a letter to me. And it basically said, if you're reading this, then something's happened to me. And I just want you to know that I love you. You're my sister. I've missed you when we're not together. And if something did happen to me, I don't want you to use this as an excuse to harden your heart. I want you to keep fighting the good fight. I want you to think of me when you want to give up and you instead just fight harder for those who need help. And that's when I really kind of decided that I needed to step up and I needed to start doing this for the right reasons instead of just for a paycheck.
Harden your heart. Is that because you're a rock genosi?
I like to think so, but honestly, it's just I had a really hard time trusting people, and I am a bit of a grump. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a bit grumpy most of the time.
I mean, don't try to wake me up. I'll be the same way.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, people are hard, and trying to be friendly with people and be nice to people, you always just end up getting hurt. So I just, for a long time, just didn't try.
Understandable. It is very difficult to deal with people, especially some people.
Don't you be staring at me, boy.
Wasn't you? No. It's difficult to deal with people, but if you give the right people the benefit of the doubt, you'll find out that sometimes it's not all bad. But then again, sometimes you give people the benefit of the doubt and they never learn a lesson. Stare.
We tried with books. It's not going to happen. But have you managed to find people that are good enough to open up a bit to?
I have this group that I'm with now. I wasn't really sure of them when we first started, but they've had my back, and I can appreciate that. And especially the little one, the little one that's always playing her instruments. I would die for any one of them.
Can you tell us a bit about them?
Oh, of course. Well, there's Thamus, who is kind of the mom of the group, if you will. She's been in the army for a very long time. She's very well known in the army for her bravery, and she does what she can to teach us, to, impart her wisdom on us. And she's always trying to keep us in line and make sure we're following our orders and not getting too distracted. There's a couple of us, not me, of course. I would never break the rules. But there's a couple of us that like to play and have fun. And she's always there to kind of rein us in to make sure we're doing what we need to do. But she's also the first one there if we need help, if, something happens and when we need someone to give us first aid. She's always the first one there to take care of us. And then we have the little one. I call her the little one. She's our musical person. She's always there to kind of play a nice tune to relax us or to get us ready for battle. Whenever we have a mission the night before the mission, she's always there to make sure our head's on right and we're ready. And she's just one of the nicest people I've ever met. She's always there to help.
She's the one with leashes when you're at the bar, isn't she?
She is the one sitting on the piano playing her lute, trying to distract everybody from the chaos the rest of us are causing. Famous, the older one, she's the one with the leashes. Whenever we go somewhere, she tries to keep us all in line. I don't envy her. We make it difficult to keep us on track. But Rin, she's not much of a fighter. She would much rather talk it out than fight it out. But she will do anything she can to kind of help us wherever she can. I was in a boxing match and she just sat there on the sidelines cheering me on and playing her lute and trying to make sure that she had the crowd on my side. And that's just kind of who she is. She likes to support us from the sidelines.
Did you win?
I did win. I did. It was fun. And then the person that I was fighting, this gnome, who was a great fighter, afterwards we went and had a couple of drinks and just talked. And it was a great night. It was fun.
Isn't there quite a bit of a size difference between you and a gnome?
There is. And that was one of the fun things. And, I struggled because I was much taller and trying to hit down at the gnome was difficult for me, but they had the same issue as trying to hit up at me was hard. So it actually took quite a while for us to finish the boxing match, but it was a lot of fun. And, for a gnome, they hit really hard. I wasn't expecting that.
At least I didn't go for the strawberry basket.
I don't know what that is. I'm not the smartest. I just know how to hit things.
Between the legs, punch up.
Oh, yeah. No, they didn't try that, thankfully. They did keep getting behind me, though, and, trying to go for my ankles, which was really annoying because they kept, going in between my legs. I'm surprised I didn't fall because they kept trying to trip me. But it was a good time. They were a good opponent.
They're ankle biters.
They are ankle biters.
Those darn gnomes.
Maybe it's okay to step on him if he runs between your legs.
I thought about it, but then I thought maybe that would be cheating a little because I'm so big and they were so small, and I didn't actually want to hurt them.
We had infestation of gnomes the other week.
Oh, that does not sound fun.
The cats drew them out, though.
I was gonna say, how did you? Once they're in, and it's hard to get them out, especially when they're in the walls. It's difficult.
There's a company that deals with gnome infestations. Yeah.
I think it's called Gnome Begone.
I'm gonna have to get that information before I leave, just in case. It's always good to have a company like that in your back pocket.
Oh, absolutely. They do multi-realm extractions.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'll have to give them a call. Oh, yeah, but so I have Ren and Thamus, and then we have Simeon, who is a tiefling fighter. I've never met a tiefling before, and he's a good guy. He's a good fighter. I accidentally hit him the other day, and he got up and just was ready to go. He didn't even care. And then we have a bunny man in our group. I've never met anybody from, I think he called it the Feywild. I've never met one before, but he is the nicest person. He's a little weird. He has this big hammer that he uses, but he's also magical. But I don't know that he knows how to use his magic right because things always go wrong when he tries.
Wild magic?
Yes, that's what he calls it. He originally was a pink bunny. And then he tried to do something magical, and I guess it went wrong because now he's blue, and he's very upset about it. Personally, I think he looks good blue.
I'd love to see a blue bunny sometime.
Oh, yeah, he's, like I said, he's great. I wouldn't let him do magic around here, though, because, like I said, I don't think he's very good at it. And you never know what he's going to destroy. But I like the blue on him, personally. I think it suits him.
Very nice.
What about your other traveling companions? Do you have any other?
Just Simeon, and he, he's the tiefling with the horns, and he has this tail. Honestly, I don't know how he doesn't step on it when he's walking, but he's apparently from Flan, like I am, or at least he spent time there. I remember hearing stories about him. He was kind of a scary guy. And I'm not sure why he joined the army. I don't know if it was to get away from his past or what, but he's a good companion to have. He's always got my back.
And what was the first adventure you had with this party?
They took us to Daggerford, which is a little coastal town off the Sword Coast, and we had to split up into teams. We were trying to get an item from this other group of people. So Clem and I, the Bunny Man, we left early to kind of stage I want to say surrender, but that is not the right word. Although I guess technically they did surrender because they died. What is the word? Ambush. That is the word I'm looking for. Sorry, I think I'm still sleeping back in my body maybe because my brain, I'm a little slow today. We were staging the ambush, and then we had one group of people following them, and we had another group pretending to be them in the city so that they would think that they were there. So Clem and I left first thing in the morning, and we took these crates loaded with, one had crossbows in them and the other one had uniforms in them. And we waited for the rest of the group. And once they hit the ambush point, we attacked. We ended up winning. It was a little touch and go there for a little bit, but we got the item that we were tasked to find. And that was our real test to see if we could make it in the Stormwatch.
Nice.
Is that cursed item you happen to have from your adventures, or what does that do? All I can see is that it's cursed.
Oh, this? Well, this isn't cursed.
It is cursed, my dear. Very cursed.
No, it's... Everybody keeps telling me that. It's not really cursed. It has a friend inside, and the friend talks to me. But it's not cursed.
My dear, I can literally see magic. I can see your curse. It is cursed. You might have a friend inside, but the friend is part of the curse.
That's what everybody tried telling me, but I didn't want to hear it.
How'd you find the item?
So we were in Silverton, and we were supposed to be cleaning out. They told us that the sewers were haunted. That there was some kind of creature in the sewers, and they needed our help to figure out what was going on. One of their people had dropped their keys down there. They had heard something weird, and they got scared, and they dropped the keys and ran out. So we were looking for the keys, and we were trying to find out what's going on. They had some of the residents disappear. So we were just kind of, looking around. And while we were down there, it looked like some of the walls, somebody was excavating down there, or maybe they just kind of crumbled because it, an older area. But it was just kind of in the wall. I saw something as we were trying to kind of going through. I saw something out of the corner of my eye and went in there, and I heard whispering and a voice telling me that, it's okay to be angry and embrace that. And when I went over to see what it was this idol, and it, it has this little fin on it, and it was just kind of cool. And I feel like it's mine. It's supposed to belong to me. So I keep it on me all the time.
That's the same feeling I get when I see gold.
It's true.
It's supposed to belong to me.
I could see that. But yeah, now this is mine, and it gives me some cool abilities that help me be a better soldier.
Can we see?
Yeah, sure. And all of a sudden she changes from an earth genosi to a shark.
Do you want to roll to see if you do attack us or not?
Yeah, I can do that. Oh, let me see. There's a 3. I do not attack you. I rolled a 19. I don't succumb to the blood rage. Sometimes I have to be careful because sometimes I get into it a little too much and I can't really tell who's my friend and who's not. And there's been a couple of times where I have changed to help out and I end up attacking my friends.
You go into a shark frenzy.
I do. I attacked Clem once, and he was a great sport about it. He just stood there and took it so that I would focus on him and I wouldn't hurt anybody else. Meanwhile, trying to talk me down. More recently, I accidentally punched Simeon. He didn't have the same reaction. He kind of jumped up and was ready to go, but Clem came and then talked me down again before I could really do any damage.
That's always good.
Yeah, it's always good to have friends like that.
Other than the first time you've turned into a shark, have you had any memorable moments turning into the shark, at least? Or being the shark?
I think my favorite was the first time because it was just such a surprise that it happened. So we were in the sewers and we came across this really heavy door and it was kind of stuck and nobody could get in and we were worried that there were survivors on the other side. So we were trying to get in and the idol, it was just talking to me and telling me that I needed to embrace this anger that I have and this rage. And if I did, it would basically give me this gift and I would be able to help all of my friends. So I did, and I changed and I grew and I, have this fin and it just, this rage-filled adrenaline. And I ran up and just punched the door as hard as I could and it flew open. And I mean, it was just such a great moment and it was such a surprise that it happened. And then, the fact that I got through this big locked door with just my fist was just, it was a great moment.
Damn, fuck lockpicking.
They tried and they could not get the door open, even with picking the locks.
I do know a Minotaur that did that once where they couldn't open in a door, so they decided to rip it off the hinges and then just use that as a weapon.
I would like to meet that Minotaur because I think that we have a lot in common. I think that we would get along.
May have introduced you sometime. He's a drunken brawler, though.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
But any other significant moments of the shark?
Yeah. Well, we were camping out the other night. Well, actually, I guess maybe tonight. I'm not really sure how this whole dream thing works. It was earlier tonight. We were camping and I was on watch with Simeon and we heard this growling. So we went to go investigate and there was, a lot of rustling. And the closer we got, the louder the growling got. And there was this huge black bear that went up on its hind legs and was roar and being all scary. So without really even thinking, I transformed into the shark and roar right back to try to scare it. And it worked and it ran away. But then I had the whole bloodlust thing and I just kind of forgot what I was doing and punched Simeon and there was this whole big thing and he was ready to let's go and jumped up and put his fist up and apparently I was very loud when I was growling so everybody else woke up and came running over and kind of talked me back down but yeah, I scared a bear, which was really cool.
Those gotta be tough to scare as well.
I would think so. I've never really come across one in the wild like that before. I mean, it would have mauled us. It was really aggressive.
Ooh, do you have any food out?
I think Rin had some when she was on watch, and I don't know that she put it away the way that you should when you're camping in the woods. So that's probably what it was. The only thought I had in my head was I need to protect my people. So I just transformed and roar, and the bear got us scared and ran away. So that was really cool that I scared bear.
Indeed. The only time I've seen a bear scared is when it actually saw something terrifying, so, well, you must be pretty scary to animals in that form. Then again, there was that time that I used a spell and it scared a bear, but then I got attacked, so it didn't work quite how I was hoping.
Oh.
I'd dig him out of a pit.
Well, that doesn't sound fun for you.
I mean, it was a little for me.
Well, I never.
Listen, I needed a good laugh that day, alright?
It's fine. It's fine. I won't hold it against you too much. I was going to ask, what are your plans for the future? Do you plan to retire at some point soon?
One of my biggest things that I really want to do is I'm really hoping that, especially now with my position in the Stormwatch, that I will be able to find out what happened to my dear friend, Sorisana. I would really like to know if she was killed or taken by the enemy. That is my number one thing that I want to do. But other than that, I'm actually really kind of enjoying being part of this group. And I kind of like what they're doing. And, our next goal is going up to Shadowdale and kind of reclaiming that. So I'm just going to keep going for as long as they'll have me until they force me to retire.
If you're with a good party, you should stay with them as long as you can.
Yep, and this is a good group, so I'm going to stay with them for as long as they'll put up with me.
And we should probably get you back to your group. You have been gone a good bit. Granted, it'll only be a few minutes your time since this is your dreamscape, but still, we don't want to keep you before you wake up.
I appreciate that. They get into trouble without me, so it's probably best that I go back.
Well, we would love to have you again in the future if you would like to.
Oh, I would love to. This has been a fun dream. I like this place.
Glad to hear, and we'll have plenty more Kobold Scout cookies for you.
Oh, thank you. These were delicious. I recommend dipping them in the bourbon.
Absolutely, we'll try. But until then, have a good awakening.